You. Hello and welcome to the CRO Podcast with your hosts, myself, Will, and Courtney.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. We are the co-founders of CRO Agency, and we...
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I was looking at your face. I was like, I shouldn't look at your face. All right. So I was the weakest link, and that's just paved the way for you, Corey, to
Yeah.
show me up. Okay.
Well, or screw up and I get an excuse now.
Yeah, I've already done it. Okay, so it's
we're
from the
diving
top.
back.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. We are the co-founders of the CRO Agency, and we manage the CRO network together.
So a little bit about the podcast. Every week we answer common questions about CRO, have CRO network members on the podcast, or show off the latest advances in CRO. On today's podcast, we're lucky to have Corey Schmidt. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey guys, happy to be here. Excited to be here. I'm Corey. I'm from the United States, but I've lived in Berlin for about the last 10 years. I run marketing teams for B2B software companies, Series A, Series B, scaling on up. Run departments, demand gen departments, and particularly those that are doing conversion rate optimization. Other things about me, I have written a book on demand gen. I speak regularly at conferences. I'm going to be speaking about conversion rate optimization in a couple of months. You can catch me in Lisbon at Digital Marketing Europe.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, so obviously this is why we wanted him on the podcast. Knows his stuff, and hopefully we'll have very interesting answers to the topics we are talking about today. So, things we're talking about: how to set up an optimization program, some of our favorite tests to run, any top tips when it comes to building a new page. It's a very common thing that people have to do all the time. And finally, one specific to Corey himself, what inspired him to write a book, and how actually was it? Because I imagine it was a bit of a marathon at times. Yeah, shall we get into it, guys?
Let's go.
So, first question, Corey, and let's start with you. So, how do you set up an optimization program at these wonderful B2B SaaS companies?
Yeah, I mean, it does depend on the company and the company size, where you are, what you're going to do. But I think the most important thing is to actually set it up. And what's interesting is when you talk to teams, and especially when you talk to marketing leaders, they have a ton of data. They have dashboards. They'll show you slides on bounce rates and tons of different things. But a lot of times they're not doing anything about it. They're just reporting it up. And you see this in a lot of different businesses where a lot of information is being reported up or reported down, but nothing's really being done about it. So kind of the first thing is to really just actually start doing conversion rate optimization, get something going here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's something which I've definitely noticed, even when it comes to the agency side. There's times which, a program, like we're doing this, and then literally 3 months go by and they set up and launch the test. And it's like, no, the point is to do the CRO. So like, for instance, Courtney, you maybe talk to this and a bit more about how we do this a little bit ourselves. But yeah, we've got a hard goal for any new program we launch. It's like the first test will be live in 2 weeks. Like if it's not live, we need to take a step back and reassess, because the point is you have to get it live and make everything actionable from then on, and you can just roll forward. Courtney, do you have any thoughts to add?
No, I like 100% agree on that one. I think generally, especially speaking from sort of the way that we do it and having that 2 weeks, it's really about like, if you're not doing anything, you can't learn and you can't make things better. And you can theorize about everything, but really at the end of the day, you're going to see, you're going to move the needle, I guess, with those learnings. And you can only learn something by actually testing and hypothesizing and doing all of that. And I think it makes sense if you are in the position to start, and even if it is very, very basic, or you're just starting out, you can have a very simple setup, just like Corey said, and you can kind of just start incrementally doing bit by bit, just to make sure that you are trying to constantly optimize.
Yeah, it's an interesting question regarding, why do companies struggle to start up the CRO program? Like, it seems to be like a genuinely a blocker. I don't know if anybody here has any particular thoughts on why it's like potentially particularly harder than it really seems, but then why it seems harder than it really necessarily is.
People get bogged down in the theory of it. where do you start? What am I starting
Mm,
with? Like, what do I need to know? I mean, we were talking about on the other podcast, we were talking about okay, well, a marketing analysis and doing a data analysis, and you have all of these things, just like Corey was saying, that you're kind of reporting on. But okay, well, what does that mean, and how do I actually get from all that information actionable sort of next steps? How I can just implement that? And I think that's sort of something that it's very difficult for a lot of companies or a lot of teams to kind of streamline that into proper framework action items.
absolutely. And I do think it's a tech problem as well to a degree, because if you've hard coded pages, it's a pain to then go do
Yeah.
those. And then you're looking at marketing collaborating, product collaborating, then probably sales is in there because you're affecting the sales front. And like suddenly you get all these people, it's like, oh God, like, now, so what do we do? It's, oh, it's got to be successful. And then people often, the first like impetus for CRO can be like competitor analysis. And it's like,
Hmm.
oh, they're doing this, we need to replicate this. And it's a really high effort build, like you're replicating an entire, your entire funnel, but without the wider context of how it fits in. And suddenly, you've taken this, this really powerful process and you've made it really high effort, really big and scary, loads of stakeholders, really high, everyone involved is like a little bit concerned. When really, as Corey absolutely pointed out, start small, start simple, get going. And yeah, wherever possible, no code software. Again, we can recommend a load of different ones. More generally, that there's really, really powerful tools out there. And frankly, CRO software nowadays mostly have visual editors built in. Just start off with the headline test. And if you're really unsure what to do, send us the webpage. We will tell you, like, we'll just give you a test to start off with. Like, I mean, literally, it's fine.
We'll just tell you.
But just, I
um,
mean, it actually, as if we planned it, it may actually flow on nicely to the following question.
Very nice. I
One
love a
thing
good
I would
segue.
mention as well is that a lot of times people try to go for a big comprehensive tool. So they think, okay, we need to get Optimizely or whatever, and that can really get people bogged down, especially if you're resource constrained, like Series A, Series B companies usually are. So
Really
that's
expensive.
one, and then also where to start is another thing. One advice I have for leaders and teams that are doing CRO out there, just getting started, just go through your customer journey. Like pick a few different channels. Like just jump on, do a Google search, look at the ad, look at all of the links. Look at the organic results. Click into those. Take a look at the landing pages. Go through the whole process. Go through the landing page. Go through the form. Look at the CTAs. You're probably going to find something already that you need to go after. You need to tackle. And another thing I would say, one last thing on this, make sure you're measuring downstream as well once you get started, because that can be really problematic. Go for the easy lifts, but make sure that you're looking downstream to make sure you're not affecting LTV or something. So, yeah.
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 That's a really, yeah, I mean, Corey,
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk to
Huge
that.
point. I mean, just huge. Honestly, like, I mean, getting an uplift in conversions is one thing, but if you're getting an uplift in bad quality leads, that's not a win.
Yeah. You got to do
So,
that data analysis.
yep.
Yeah. I mean, follow on question and next kind of core topic we want to talk about is favorite test to run. I mean, maybe let's talk about favorite early tests to run. I don't know if you guys have any top, if you were to start a program, first test to do.
Corey, please. You're the
Deeper
guest.
in the
I feel like,
funnel,
yeah.
tests. So, keep in mind that when you're optimizing for the top of the funnel, you might miss your customers. There's a chance that you do, but you're very unlikely to if you're very, very deep in the funnel. So one thing to do is just reduce uncertainty. The people, when people are in the mid funnel or in the bottom of the funnel, they understand the product, they see the value, and they really want to buy your product, but they're looking for reasons not to buy your product. So take a look, see if different social proof makes a difference, see if different logos make a difference. Try out different things there, because you're most likely to have a better lift from those.
Yeah. I was gonna say, contact details. Spread them out. Make that multi-step. If you have a contact, like if you're using sort of multi-step, or if you're asking questions, obviously, having all of it stacked out into one is probably going to be quite damaging or have a negative effect on conversion rate. So I think just being able to spread that out, make it a little bit easier, micro commitments, and then adding in a loader screen before that. So between the qualifying questions and asking for the contact details, psychologically, that's going to make everyone feel like something's actually happening. Their data is being processed. You're doing something. It is a bespoke quote, for example, if that's what you're offering. All of that, I think, you will see quite, generally speaking, I think you will see quite a big impact. And it's really simple sort of tests to really run.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen 20% uplift from running that test where, everyone just asks the contact details all at once. And if you just literally just put them onto one screen each, much better. And yeah, if you're using just a static form, a multi-set form, much easier way to do it. So, I mean, it's the only way you can ask them sequentially for one, but you can also ask more meaningful questions, warm them up, you can get much better results. And yeah, definitely, as Corey mentions, that you want to find those like pinch points where, this is a point where as many of your customers as possible are going through. And then social proof is brilliant. When someone lands on your landing page or like a core place where like most of your traffic flows through, um, you know, one of the big things I'm thinking about is, do I trust this place? Like, why am I not doing this? What are the risks associated with it? And just friendly faces saying that this is great. I mean, it works every time. Like, it's one of our core principles is above the fold on mobile and desktop, have some kind of compelling social proof. So they don't have to go searching for that. Instead, you're immediately managing that potential risk in their head.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
and the
mm,
reassurance also goes into just maybe time commitment or just any sort of commitment that they might have to make. So some psychological reassurance is like, hey, this is going to take you 30 seconds, or you're not
yeah.
going to need to put in a credit
Yeah.
card at the end of this, just so they know, okay, at the end of this, I'm not going to have to do the things that I'm worried about. Like this is going to take me too much,
Yeah.
or I had to put a
Yeah.
credit card in.
There is nothing that gets me out of a funnel quicker than me having to put in credit card details for a free trial. Absolutely not going to do it. Never. It's just not going to happen. Hey.
Yeah. No, completely agreed, guys. Completely agreed. Um, I mean, following question, when it actually comes to building a new page, a new landing page, do we have any top tips for the audience?
Yeah. So one is start really on the decision and not the design that you're working on. And a lot of times marketing teams, especially when you have very creative marketing teams, some designers who are involved, love to start with the wireframe. Take a look at what the competitors are doing. Grab the wireframe, put together some cool elements into it. Maybe even start building the landing page right away, before you even start thinking about what is the reason why the person is there. Why are they on your page? Solve for that. Start to answer the questions that they have, and answer them in sections. Maybe think about all the questions they could have, all the reasons why they might not buy you, and then answer those questions either in each section, either one or two questions in each section of the landing page, and go from there, and then start working on the design elements.
I actually think that's really it's something we see again and again and again. It like you can see when it's a design-led page where like it looks pretty, doesn't unfortunately it's not optimized for conversion. It's not answering those questions. It's not doing that kind of active risk management. And unfortunately, it's just like kind of how traditional marketing, a lot of traditional marketing works. I think it's a really good principle to think, yeah, what is the decision? Like what's the outcome from this that we want? And trying to build around that.
Yeah, definitely. I think just supporting that decision-making process that everyone goes through, and they don't even know that they're going through it. It's not like like a conscious, "Oh, okay, like, why am I here?" You're not asking yourself that. It's not even a fully formed thought, but it really is sort of what is just mentally you're going through a check of this page,
Mm.
and you're going through the little bits of decisions of like, "Okay, I've seen this, and that's enough to get me to the next step." And then it's, the whole thing happens kind of again, because you're constantly asking for a little micro commitment or something from someone. So, gotta help with that decision, gotta take away that friction.
What was the philosophy? What was one of the principles we used to always expound? In for a penny, in for a pound. So like, if you
Yeah.
get them to do like this tiny little action, they're much more likely to go through and do the rest of the action. So just sequentially, ask, get these small little requirements from them, and sooner or later, they will convert and become a lead, and hopefully an opportunity, and hopefully a really good customer for everyone. Um, when it comes to maybe, sorry, go for it.
Yeah, yeah. I was just going to add to that, on the decision making. that that people, this isn't the first time when they see your landing page that they've seen a landing page. So they're using decision heuristics, just like people do when they're shopping at a grocery store. Everybody has their own different criteria, but they're checking off a few different things: price and brand. Do I know the product? So they're thinking about things when, will this work for my situation? How hard is it? What's going to happen next after this page? What's the risk to me for going to the next step there? So they're using decision heuristics there as well, and you just need to hit a big chunk of those and check off some boxes for them.
Yeah, definitely. 100% hard agree.
Yeah. Again,
I was
I
hoping
think,
to have some discussion, but I'm like, no, that's exactly how I see it.
I mean, you literally wrote an article on this, I want to say
Yeah, we
last
did.
week. And it was very, we should have got you to co-write it, Corey, clearly. Uh,
Great minds think alike. What can I say?
yeah,
And there's also data on this, and there's like a whole thing, there's an entire sort of behavioral psychology and decision making. But I mean, besides that, I think maybe we're just super smart, obviously. I don't know.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the common denominator here. Otherwise we wouldn't have Corey on the podcast as well. So, it's
All of these
it's
things
as
are
if we
aligning,
planned it. It's as if we planned it. Wow, wild.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we're okay on the top tips for now, then I mean, one thing I was really curious about. So, Corey has written a book, which I think is
Yeah,
incredible.
very
I think it's
impressive.
something which a lot of people largely, they'd love to accomplish this in their lives. It's great from a professional point of view. It really makes it stand out and really interesting. But obviously, it's it's not an easy thing to do. If it's an easy thing to do, we'd all have published books. Corey, you have successfully managed to publish a book. Tell us a little bit about that. Why you wanted to do it? What inspired you? And really, give us behind the scenes of how it was, because in my mind, it's a project.
Yeah, for sure. So what started it off, I was speaking a lot about certain topics, mainly demand generation topics, SEO, a lot of Google stuff for quite a while here. And so I was writing about it, doing a lot of things on it. And I thought, okay, I want to kind of check that box off. And I kind of always wanted to write a book. So I was like, okay, this is something that I am writing about, I'm speaking about, I'm talking about it a lot. Might as well put down some of my thoughts on paper. And once I started doing it, I was like, okay, maybe I could turn this into a couple articles or something. I could do that. But then it started getting bigger and bigger. And then about a year later, I had something that I would have called a manuscript. That was, I think that was the easier fun part. The next part wasn't so much fun, which is getting it published and going through the edits from the publisher. And that's where it started getting very difficult and really became sometimes a very frustrating process where it's like entire sections are removed and I need to rewrite them or add an entire chapter because this needs to make a little bit more sense to connect to something else that I didn't see. I mean, it was all really great feedback, but that process took about a year after that. So that was actually about half of the time was spent in editing, and it was a very different book by the time I got done writing it.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, there's nothing more humbling than feedback. I mean, it's fantastic, but then I think, especially with the amount that goes into writing an entire book and then having to kind of go through with that fine tooth comb. I mean, 12 months of kind of like iterative feedback is, I mean, it's not nothing, like it's quite a lot, I would imagine. I've always wanted to write a book though. I don't have the grit yet to do it though. I feel like that's a mountain I'll have to climb at some other point.
We'll co-publish one. Don't worry. We'll
Yeah,
take it chapter by chapter. Or we'll just do the transcript of all the podcasts. We'll just chuck them in there.
Yeah, AI come to the rescue.
Yeah,
what was the reception like?
Yeah.
What was it like to write a book though? Like when you finally got it and you had people read it,
Yeah.
that would have been an amazing kind of
That
like
was
feeling,
great.
right?
That was incredible. If anybody out there is thinking of writing one, I think for me, if I hadn't written one, I would have always had that as like an itch. So
Yeah.
I would have always like, I write something at some point. I don't have that itch anymore. That is completely gone. I don't think it's ever coming
So
back.
no
Uh,
sequel?
but yeah, for folks out there, I mean, the people who I've seen who have made a lot out of writing a book, agency owners, who have spoken with at conferences and stuff, they've really done a good job of kind of leveraging that. And I think it can be worth it if you think about it, like it's probably not going to be a New York Times bestseller. It's probably going to be something that you're using in your career to kind of showcase the knowledge that you have. And agency owners is a great place for you to do that. And I've seen a lot of people very successful at that.
Mm. Well, I guess we
There
are
you go. We'll add it to the
co-writing that
list.
book. I was joking. Wow. Whew.
That was only to add pressure onto you guys.
Yeah.
We
Love
expect
it.
no less, Corey. I mean, maybe we'll publish it with, if you want to play the editor role this time, it might be
Yeah, there you
therapeutic.
go. Just dollop out some feedback. Just
Yeah, it's like, you know what? We're going to need a whole rewrite and then we'll come back. Yeah, I think it's a real achievement, and particularly, it's actually very unexpected from my point of view that the editing process was the worst. But that makes total sense, because when I think about writing a book, it's like, God, just getting it all out there would be, that step alone would be a real challenge, at least in a coherent way. I reckon we could waffle on for at least a few chapters. But
for sure.
to put something I'd be proud of and taking to market would be an incredible challenge. So yeah, again, congrats. It's really cool. Yeah. Well, we are moving on to the Hall of Fame and Hall of Shame section of our podcast. So this is where we highlight some great pages and otherwise notable pages. So for this week,
very diplomatic.
core
I like that.
frontispiece. We do this for every time we do this. We don't get anything from doing these reviews. These are just pages we come across. Again, we are so happy to provide any insight or feedback on them in a more structured manner. If you actually do want to take these to a different place, that's totally fine. Also, I know many wonderful marketers that have made terrible pages for many good reasons. Well, please, this should not be personal, nor is it a reflection of whoever made this. Instead, it's just good that we know what good looks like and what bad can sometimes look like.
Potentially. Allegedly.
We do not have allegedly. We do not have the whole picture. So we prepare to be wrong, and we'd love to hear back from you guys.
Yeah, definitely. We're open to feedback.
We are open to feedback. Not a year's worth. Not a year's worth of feedback. I'll be honest. 5 minute video would be nice. Cool. So I'm going to share my screen. We only have 6 minutes left. We may run over time yet again, but we'll try to keep it lean. The first entry to the Hall of Fame, for this week at least, but the entry into the Hall of Fame is Verizon. So this is a company that I guess you wouldn't really necessarily expect it to be. No, actually, I guess they do a B2C product. Obviously, the specific one that we are talking about is Verizon vehicle tracking system. So this is for enterprise solutions for if you have lots of vehicles, you want to track them. Verizon's a market leader. Lots of other market leaders out there. Just FYI, I think there's RAM, there's Samsara, there's a lot of other ones that I can't remember right at this moment. But yeah, we're not here to promote Verizon.
Yeah.
However,
I can't believe you know all of those market leaders.
I know.
Yeah.
Again, I'm so cool. So let's dive into this page and why we were actually quite impressed with it. Again, we got here via I want to say this is an organic search rather than a paid search response. And I was navigating their website and I was actually really, really impressed by this. So the first thing that I really like to see, obviously it does have 2 CTAs here, which I don't love. Again, pick one. I think it's sensible, but from an organic point of view, multiple, your user journey is more exploratory, so this is reasonable. But it's got a nice big headline, very clear, very simple, makes sense. If you're a business with this, again, it makes sense. It's got an ROI calculator down here. And then it starts answering some of those questions that Corey was talking about. Starts to have a bit of trust here. We'd love to see these trust elements a little bit higher up the page. We will look at it on mobile as well. But then, yeah, it's a nice short page as well. So it kicks you back to these action points, which is really important. A lot of pages just end and they don't try to then kick you back to the action point. This is a great way of doing it. I'll quickly show you guys it on mobile. If it's going to play ball, is it going to play ball? It's going to play ball. iPhone 12 Pro, just FYI, right-click inspect. That's the resolution that is sensible to use. That's interesting. That does. They should maybe remove that background because that text isn't wonderful. But again, they show the core things here, which is really nice. And most importantly, and the
CTA's
reason
in the
why,
thumb zone.
yeah,
Love to see it.
Exactly. And when you actually click Get Demo, is it going to work? Yeah.
Yeah,
You actually
look at
go
that.
to a multi-step form. I think it's the first enterprise company I've seen in a very long time that asks a multi-step form to qualify people. In fact, it has advanced qualifications. So let's say 2 to 4. Continue. Oh, let's try 1.
It's just 1, yeah.
It's a 1 that kicks us out. Yeah. So unfortunately, it does not meet the 5+ unit requirement. So immediately for sales, they're pre-qualifying those leads. That's brilliant to see, because a big issue sometimes when you run these multi-step forms, you get loads of leads, but it can dilute lead quality. Some simple pre-qualification logic built in is super helpful. Then it continues to flow through 5 to 15. Again, I think this is not a perfect page. There's room for improvement. This is a lot of answer options. I would definitely argue too many. And also on other smaller screen resolutions, iPhone 12 Pro, iPhone SE, which is more accessible. But it's less common nowadays. iPhone
I have
12
an
Pro.
iPhone SE.
See, you're missing out.
I am the people. It's me.
You're the reason we have to design for such a small screen all the time.
I am the problem.
If you are ever curious about what the optimal screen size is, we have there's actually publicly available data for this on what screen resolutions are more or less common. And we can share that with you. But the general rule is iPhone 12 Pro is currently the smallest large screen. So this is the good one to optimize around. So you continue through, then you can select these. It's multi-select, so the continue button makes sense. On the previous slide, I would have loved to see a single select and go through to the next stage. Here, you come here. Okay, now states. I don't love the drop down, but that's fine. Go to this company, Test Inc. And yeah, then we get into a very normal standard first name, last name, contact details section. And again, it's just really, they also do
split out as well.
Yeah,
which is
split
nice.
out, so they're not on.
We like
Again,
that.
they've clearly
Loader
done their research.
Could be there. Yeah.
Yeah. And where should we send it? So they're qualifying why they need the email address. Let's see if testers. I don't know what their lead qualification is.
Oh, look at that. Even your name is there. A little bit of personalization.
Yeah.
Let's continue, William.
They've done a good job with this. I'm wrapping up. Great. It's conversational. Again, this is genuinely.
But it's letting me know nothing else is coming and I don't have to worry about my time.
Trying to see if I can remember an American phone number off. I think that's a legitimate pre-code. Then 764. Let's see. I think that's a legitimate number. Oh,
wow,
brilliant.
Look at that.
Then it even gets you to confirm things. I'm not sure about this. I think
that
this
feels
point,
a bit like overkill.
Yeah, and a plus, but I mean, clearly, I'm curious as to why they added it. But I assume that they've
because they have probably because they have the grouping, and then if they make it even more granular, I suppose it's probably interesting for sales, but still.
That could be, lead scoring is important. Like, if the better you can work your leads, lead gen is as good as the sales process that supports it. So that's actually really nice to see. And then, they say thank you as well. So many thank you pages don't say thank you. It boils my blood. But yeah, we thought it was a really cool page. We're really happy to see this. And yeah, well done, Verizon. Verizon Connect specifically. Very, very cool.
I mean, Corey, you've been quite quiet. Any thoughts, feelings, emotions, opinions?
It was good. I think one thing they do, Verizon, obviously they have it's like T-Mobile here in Europe. So that's maybe why they're so good at this, because they are qualifying a ton of people who for smartphones. I would say I would disagree a little bit here on this page. I would say it's a little bit cluttered, and
Yeah.
The subheading is maybe a little too long. I maybe wouldn't have it so long, but it's still good. It's still quite a good page and a good journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with
Bullets,
that.
I would see as a test instead of having
l-
that long sentence. Let's
We
bullet
should have
that.
said,
Bullet
yeah,
points everywhere. That's the thing. It's just so much easier to digest.
they
Ain't
they
nobody got
do
time for that.
they do work.
Yeah.
From a meme. Oh,
I love it. I'm so ready for the next one though.
okay. So again, the next one is Wall of Shame. We are a little bit over time. We will keep this brief and hopefully apersonal. So this one actually came to us via a recommendation. We take no responsibility for our words. So
Nice
let's have a look.
preface.
Let's have a look at this one. So specifically, the Wall of Shame entry for this time is Blueprint Solutions and their online booking appointment software. So it's actually, in this case, we're going to see where it's being hosted by these guys who Regain Hearing. And they have this online booking form that is currently powered by, for you, once we get into
Once
the
we
form
go through
first,
the T's and C's, yeah.
you must select the terms and condition. I mean,
right off
I've
the
never,
bat.
I appreciate, so when it comes to collecting medical information and things, so hearing aids do count. It's not GDPR compliant to do to like you have to treat it as identifiable personal information that of a health nature, which has more requirements. You do not need a terms or condition beforehand. This is I don't know. I've never seen this before. It's wild. We're gonna look at it on mobile for now, and then we're gonna look at it's on desktop for now. Then we're gonna look at it on mobile. So powered by Blueprint, so they provide just overall solutions for health based CRMs basically. And this is one of the opportunity things that you can use and embed in your form clearly. So we're going to have a quick look on mobile. So this is really where it starts to break down. Let's reload that so hopefully it works as intended. This is iPhone 12 Pro, which is the most generous of the screen resolution sizes to begin with. So first off, I would say that iPhone SE is more likely. So it's an accessible vertical. So it's largely for people over 60. So you should use a smaller screen size because people have magnification things on their phone. So it is worth optimizing around this one. First thing you notice, the book an appointment links out elsewhere, but that is the CTA that's being offered. So first off, they don't even want you to complete it. Then you click agree.
Scrolling.
Oh God,
So much
sorry,
scrolling.
yes, so much
And it
scrolling.
doesn't, and it doesn't seem to work
Let me
in,
just get.
inspect mode. We'll
Yeah,
have to do it
sorry
on
guys, we'll
desktop.
have to
Yeah.
redo that. Yeah.
There we go.
Then let's say yes. We've never been before. What type of appointment do we need? Right. So first off, I appreciate this isn't even yeah. It's a lot of text. We've got numbers in here for patient. We've got key information. Then you've got another one, and then you've got another one, and then you've got multiple scroll functions. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like someone could, it's not feasible. They can't even see the question at this point.
Yeah. It's doing a lot of heavy lifting. Like, how do I even know? Maybe I would know if I read that, but I don't really want to read that. Like, I'd rather kind of help.
I'd like a consultation. Someone could help me with this, maybe.
Yeah. What do you need to know from me so I can figure out? Or like, if you just ask me a few questions and then you lead me to the type of thing that's actually going to suit me.
That would be brilliant. Also, this fold is huge.
Yes.
Look at the amount of screen size being taken up by this. I mean, you have like this tiny amount to actually engage with on a already incredibly hard thing. But let's keep going. You click on this, and then which location do you prefer? Like, well, now that's a difficult question. I don't know. But and then you've got multiples. Yeah, again, it keeps going. Then you've got them here. You got a little map to engage with, but again, it just keeps going. So then we go for Croydon. There are no available appointments in February. So I think this is a dead location. Let's change that location.
Oh, no.
We can start to see some of the issues here. And who is provider we'd like to see? We don't know the providers. I've not been to this one before, so I'm not quite sure why it's but any available. I'm glad it's got that option. And then we look at February again, and it's we've got no options here.
Yeah, it doesn't jump into the month where there's the first available. So
Yeah.
it didn't reduce the options when you scrolled on the map. It didn't reduce,
Nope.
like if you were like, okay, I want to get closer to where I am, it didn't take away options for you. So you're just stuck with the whole list, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I think it's pretty clear this has been designed for desktop. Mobile, unfortunately, I would very much argue is you have to design for mobile first. And if we, select one of these, I mean, it just keeps like again,
Wow, look at
that
that.
on mobile is even harder, and it just keeps going. I mean, it just keeps going, and then you ask for
Uh,
everything all together. I mean, that's so overwhelming. I would hate,
yeah.
I would generally fear to, like, my mum, love her, she's not completing this. It's just not happening, unfortunately.
No,
Um,
not like
yeah,
that.
we
It's a government form at that point in time. Like, goodness gracious.
might as well go to the DMV.
Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we're not sure that's yeah, this has made our entry to a wall of shame.
Mm,
Unfortunately here. Again, there are ways so our online booking forms are brilliant, they're excellent, they're really powerful ways to generate online appointments. We thoroughly recommend them. We've built a fair few of these in our time. And there are much simpler ways you can do this, which requires less upfront challenge to a user. Again,
yeah.
yeah. So we will stop sharing the screen. We have gone over time by solid 7 minutes. Any
Excellent timekeepers. Doing well.
yeah, it's very important when we get to the Hall of Fame machine to
It
really get
really
into
is.
it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening, everyone. This has
Yeah.
been the CRO podcast with Corey, Courtney, and myself. Well, thank you so much, guys.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Corey.
you. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.